Hello, Reece. How are we?
Good, mate, you?
Yeah, good. So, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
So we know each other through jiu-jitsu, and maybe a little bit before that, without consciously being aware of it in core.
Yeah, probably seen each other about, yeah.
Yeah. But mainly we become mates since we've done jiu-jitsu. But what I'm like really interested in at the start was actually your content creation skills, which we're going to talk about. But for anyone in my audience who might not be aware about who you are and what you do and what you're about, who are you and what do you do and what you're about?
Okay, so, yeah, I'm just a normal guy. My name's Reece. I call myself Mosey online. I've got a TikTok, which I've been doing for a couple of years now. And recently I've got more into like videography and trying to grow a page on Instagram. So that's about it really.
So in the content room where we are now and in my business, we work with like businesses who are like trying to grow their brand on social. They're trying to get more visible. They're trying to make an impact. They're trying to make more money, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And what I've come to realise, specifically through your page, is that it doesn't really matter what it is that they do. The subject matter doesn't really matter. For example, working on an oil rig actually is not an interesting topic to most people. No. It's very, very niche.
No. Yeah, not very interesting to me or anyone who works.
Yeah, but it's very, very niche, right? Yeah. But somehow you have managed to monetize a TikTok page pretty much specifically working on an oil rig.
Yeah.
So I say to all my clients now and potential clients that come into the business, like, it doesn't really matter what you do, everything works.
Yeah.
We're in this age now of social where like literally everything works. So if we rewind a little bit, like what got you into doing the TikTok videos and when did you realise through that journey that like it was actually something that you could potentially monetize?
So I knew I could monetize it from the start, but I didn't know how quickly I would monetize it. So I've got like my best mate, or one of my best mates, Liam. He had a girlfriend and she was doing TikTok. She was doing TikTok shop. So, and she was earning like ridiculously good money. She was earning like 15, 20 grand a month. She was telling us some month. So I was like, oh my God, I fancy a little bit of that. So I was just like, can you swear? Yeah. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Mate, this is the most non-PC podcast. You can literally go anywhere with this. Like we have like a general framework. But yeah, the conversation just goes where it goes.
Yeah, sound. All right, okay, yeah. So no, she was earning good money, and she was like, "Oh, you should give it a go and all that." And I was a bit like everyone, like, "Oh, I don't fancy TikTok. TikTok's for kids and all that, and everything." But she was like, "Yeah, but TikTok's still in like very early days. They want to be as big as Amazon and all that." So I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a go." So I started posting on TikTok, a few TikTok shop. Well, I think at the time you had to have 1,000 followers to be part of, to be a TikTok shop affiliate. Yeah. So I just started posting a couple of videos offshore, just to me talking, what I do. And then she actually asked a couple of questions on my videos, and I responded to them with videos. So I was engaging with my audience. A few of them started to like get quite a lot of views quite quickly. There was like 20,000, 30,000, 40, 80. 6 months down the line, I was still posting videos. And I just got into this habit of like answering people's questions because people are intrigued by it. Like you say, it's very niche. And people don't know what life is like because there's very little content out there, or there was very little content out there of what life is like on oil and gas platforms. Yeah. And I would say when I was like an apprentice, I was always intrigued by it myself because I knew people, or I'd heard stories of people who had gone and worked offshore and like a ridiculous amount of money, lived good lives and all that. And that was the golden era in the oil and gas. Yeah. But yeah, I was like intrigued and I wanted a piece of it. But I found there was nothing out there to see what it was actually like, what courses you need, how you get offshore, what the life's like, food, accommodation, all that stuff. So, you know, in realising that, I just thought I would start doing that on TikTok.
I suppose there's not many people either that like do that.
No.
They wouldn't even think to do that.
No, and it's the thing is, I think there's been a lot, there has been recently, and there still is really a lot of restriction on what you can post online on oil and gas platforms.
Like a lot of red tape around it and all that.
Yeah. So like these big oil and gas firms, they've got these policies in place where there's like restrictions on social media. Obviously, you're not allowed your phone outside onto the park because it's a, it's a high hazard area. So there's all these things in place. So I just focused all of my content on the accommodation side of things, really. And I spoke to the management and all that, and they were great with it, all really.
So how long did it take for you to go from like answering these questions and posting to actually making some serious coin off it?
So, well, I've not made serious coin, and there was a few months where I was like, this is starting to do well, not this, and it was exciting. But it's always been a grind, and it's still a grind. Like, still posting, but I'm just trying to be consistent, and hopefully one day it will be serious money. But it was probably the first 3 to 6 months I was like posting a lot, 3 times a day, without fail, every single day, sometimes more. And it would become quite intrusive on like your home life and stuff. Me and Jess ended up having a few arguments and stuff because I was too engrossed in my phone, always thinking about content, and my mind just doesn't switch off. So then I got to like the 1,000 followers. I was trying a bit of like TikTok shop affiliate, selling stuff. Wasn't for me, didn't like it. And I thought even if I was earning 15, 20 grand a month, I wouldn't be happy doing it. So if it did take off and I was doing this in 5 years' time, would I be happy doing it? And I told myself no. So I knocked it on head then, and I just thought, right, I'm solely going to focus on content. I'm trying to make good content, and then I can monetize that, and then you can monetize things through Protein Works, and other sponsors and stuff like that. I started, and then TikTok have got something called, or they had something called it was the Creator Fund, right? But the earnings on that was like abysmal. It was like 7 to 10p per 1,000 views or something like that. Really, really hard to earn money on that. And then they come out with something called the TikTok Creator Beta Program. Now, this is because everyone was like complaining, saying like you can't really earn money on TikTok through views. You could earn a lot more money on YouTube. So they brought this out, and then your RPM, which was your amount you get paid per 1,000 views, that went up to like £1, £1.50, some of my videos. And then like I had one video which done like 2 million views or something. So, but they've got to be qualified views. So not them 2 million views you get paid for. If someone watches it once, that counts as 1 view. If they watch it again, it doesn't count as a view. They've got to watch it for over 5 seconds. Your video's got to be over a minute long. So, and then your RPM can vary depending on how much engagement you get on your video, so how long someone watches it for, whether people are commenting, liking,
nice,
and all that. So your RPM does vary a lot. That month I ended up, I think I earned like 1,800 quid that month from that video, which was really good. I was buzzing with that, and I was like, but then you're relying on videos to go viral every month. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose, is there a sense that like once a few videos do go viral, it's easier to go viral again because you've already had them? Because you, like with the account, I suppose, like I'm noticing with my Instagram now, like my output is getting way, way bigger now. So my reach is getting way bigger over time, and every month it's growing and growing and growing. But it's not on like a follower graph anymore.
Right.
So actually my followers are actually relatively small. But the reach that I'm getting is insane because it's based on an interest graph. So for people who are interested in like social media and personal branding and all that kind of stuff, podcast that I'm doing, my non-follower viewership is like fucking through the roof. Now.
That's good. That's really good. That's what I've been trying to do with mine. I found Instagram's really good for that.
Because they're pushing that, aren't they? Like, but what I've noticed is now I'm getting more eyes on it. It's easier to get eyes on it again through more content because you kind of take all them data analytics and put that into the next piece of content.
It's where you're capturing who your audience are, aren't you?
Like making it more targeted every
capitalising on it. So I would say like once you've gone viral once, I would say it's easier to go viral again, but only if you take advantage of that audience. Do you know what I mean? So if I posted a video on an oil rig or whatever, and this is what I've struggled with. If I posted a video on an oil rig and that goes viral, right? I'll then get loads of comments on the video, and I'll respond to them comments and I'll engage. Like social media platforms want you to engage because they want people on their platform using the app, putting time on the app and stuff. So I'll engage, and then from them videos, a lot of them will do well as well. for a certain period of time, and then it slowly starts to sizzle out.
Yeah.
But then if I was to post a video on an oil rig, right, and say if it got 1 million views, 2 million views, or whatever, and then I went down to Trident and I posted a video of me rolling jiu-jitsu, it's a totally different niche, totally different topic, and that video would totally flop.
Is it totally? Is it? Would you say on TikTok specifically, it's worth like separating them in like different accounts?
I'd say on yeah. Well, I don't know, because like I think it's important to be niched. Yeah. Right, I definitely think it's important to be niched, and
I think it's gone like it's kind of flips upside down. So like after COVID, it was like niche.
Yeah.
It was like 3 tips to do this. Here's how to do this. But everyone's got that information overload now.
Yeah, it's frustrating. So no one wants to niche.
Exactly. But so all the information's already out there. So actually giving more information, it's like, oh, not more information.
I think it is. I think you're right. I think it's slowly going the other way.
But now it's kind of like it's kind of like almost like storytelling. Yeah, it's like the same thing, but storytelling. Yeah. So it's like, how can you tell a story? And it doesn't even have to be you speaking and telling a story. Yeah. It could literally be like your jiu-jitsu videos. It's like a fucking short movie almost. You know what I mean? But with the footage that you're getting. Yeah. And it's almost like telling a story about the gym and jiu-jitsu and that within the content. Yeah. But no one's speaking in it. Yeah. It's just the music.
Yeah. I think like, what was I going to say? So.
It's separating the
niche. So I think like, I think you've still got to niche, like to an extent.
Yeah.
But
I think you've got to be known for something.
Yeah. But if you're doing it, like storytelling, I think people have got to go to the channel for you. So like make yourself the niche. Yeah. Prime example of that is like #Brady. Yeah. People go to his channel for him because of his personality and all that, you know. Yeah. Which is obviously difficult to do for a lot of people, me included, you know. Like
that's personal brand. That's personal brand 101, right? Like look at Donald Trump. Like he's got probably the biggest personal brand in the world. Yeah. And he probably didn't get elected on his policies and all that shit. He probably just got elected because he's Donald Trump. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But would someone else who'd done the same stuff, who had a bit less sort of personal brand, would they be able to have done what he's done? Probably not. No. To be fair. Yeah. Elon Musk, the same. Like, massive fucking profile. He's got all these massive companies, but his personal profile is probably bigger than all the companies. Yeah. Which is weird to think, isn't it? Like Ronaldo, he's got a bigger profile than Real Madrid. Like that's crazy to think. Like, or like.
Oh, you mean like in terms of Instagram followers?
Yeah. Like massive brand, like massive. That personal branding is like fucking absolute, fucking powerful thing. It's like a potent thing. Yeah. So like, my company is registered as HD Creative. Yeah. So my Instagram handle is state_HD Creative. HD Creative. No one ever asked me about HD Creative as a business. Like it's got the website and the Instagram and yeah. But it's me. You know what I mean? It's like when people come into our business, they're dealing with me, and they know they're going to be dealing with me. And so my sort of content is more towards like, it's less like informational and more just like talking about stuff. And that's not necessarily storytelling. Like even like us speaking about this now, there's going to be so much content that we can grab out of this. Yeah. And clip up as content. Yeah. Because
podcasting,
but that's not. We're not telling people what to do. We're just talking about it, and that's like value in itself. Yeah. And that's where I've seen it go from like a niche specific thing, but it's still niche. Yeah. But like it's gone upside down to the point where you're not really talking about like specific things.
Yeah. People are going for the personalities, for the conversation.
Yeah. If you had 10 accounts that do exactly the same thing. Yeah. What's going to make someone pick me? And it's actually just me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just your personality. Yeah. So do you know what? I had a conversation with someone who's I used to go to TTU with him. His name's James Holland, and he's into like property investment, and he's on social media himself. His name's Jim Holland. A little shout out for Jim there. But I was having a conversation with him, and because he was growing his Instagram, and he's doing well growing his Instagram, and I was like, I'm struggling to like niche down, and he said, what if you could do anything, what would it be? And, well, I enjoy jiu-jitsu, enjoy the gym. I'm interested in like my diet. They're my main interests. I like videography now. And he said, well, just do it. And I said, yeah, but it's so saturated. There's millions of people doing it. He said, yeah, but there's only one you. There's only one you, and that is what, no one else delivers the content like you do.
You become a category of one.
Yeah, and that's where you've got to be careful, where it's good to get inspiration from other creators, but don't try and copy
Yeah,
other creators. Just like be yourself.
Yeah, we do this thing in the social media mapping that we do.
Yeah.
So when a client comes into our business, we sit them down and do something called social media mapping.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the big message that you want to be getting out?
Yeah.
Like what you said, like what are your interests? What makes you unique? All that stuff.
Yeah.
And what we say is go to people who are similar to what you do, figure out what's working well. And then there's 3 different things. So there's knowledge gaps. So how can you fill the knowledge gap? So if someone's not talking about something and it's something you could potentially talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
So in jiu-jitsu, people can be talking about like technique and instructionals and all that stuff, but they might not be talking about like the mental health benefits.
Yeah.
For example,
massive part of
yeah,
the
massive
sport,
part of it. Yeah. Or they might not be talking about the socialization of it, like you make friends. So that's something you might be able to talk about.
The history of the sport, where it originated from.
Yeah.
You know,
Pain points. Oh, you might be frustrated with. You might be frustrated, or you might be in physical pain or emotional pain with something, and then jiu-jitsu might be able to sort it out. And then how can you talk about that? So there's pain points, knowledge gaps, and frequently asked questions. Right. So they're like a load of content ideas that you can get.
Yeah.
But it all lands within your personal brand, which is you like jiu-jitsu, you like videography, you like content creation, you like diet, you like nutrition, you like training.
Yeah.
And they're all pillars of your personal brand. So when someone comes to your profile, they know they're going to get jiu-jitsu content. They know you're going to get video style content.
Yeah.
You know.
Mostly. I've sort of like kind of stopped doing. I did take a bit of a step back from that because I started getting people. My views was sort of down a little bit. A couple of people started posting saying, "Oh, I used to like your content. Now it's like just all about the gym and protein. It's boring." And I was like, you know what? Like rather than get me back up about
it's evolutionary, isn't it? Like,
like
you're evolving as a person.
Yeah.
So like you're going into like you're not going to sit there your whole life and just do oil rig content.
Yeah, you're right. But well, this is the thing. Like the people come to my page for the oil rig content. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That's
so I've got to figure out a way of diversifying my content without it. Without my audience getting bored, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's doing a mix. So I do a mix of both.
Jiu-jitsu, you got to remember as well, jiu-jitsu in itself is niche.
Yeah,
very niche.
Yeah, massively.
Like we're in it, so it seems massive.
Yeah,
it seems like everyone does it.
Yeah,
but actually in the world, it's not.
Oh, it's very niche.
It's very niche.
Yeah, there's not many people that do
like
it.
Like if you spoke to like my mum and dad about jiu-jitsu, like what the hell's that?
Yeah,
like,
no one knows.
No one really knows.
Yeah, a lot of people go, don't they? So how long have you been training?
It's definitely coming more in. It's definitely coming more in the mainstream.
Yeah. Slowly, yeah, it's growing. It's a growing sport.
Oh yeah.
Craig Jones has done a good job with it, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
You know.
I think he's obviously he's great at jiu-jitsu, but like I think he's a marketing genius.
Oh yeah, massively. But another one with his personal brand.
He's essentially what he's done with his accounts is essentially what you've done with the oil rig, but on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Massive scale.
Yeah.
And he's likable.
He's absolutely.
And he doesn't care about pissing people off either. You know what I mean?
Right. Cool,
so having that polarizing content as well, that's like another opportunity. It's really interesting to me, like the sort of growth of your TikTok. One thing that really interests me going into next year is live shopping on TikTok.
Yeah, people doing live streaming.
Like the old style QVC style.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many people doing that.
So I've got a feeling that like, do you know like rooms like this?
Yeah.
Where you create content, or like podcast studios or gyms.
Yeah.
They got like physical products to sell, like rash guards.
Yeah.
Good example. You go on TikTok live shopping.
Yeah. There's a lot of people doing it already.
A lot of people doing it already. And you'll be able to sell.
Yeah.
They'll convert rooms like this in gyms, in podcast studios, literally dedicated hours to sell as much product as you can on TikTok.
Yeah. The problem with that though is I think you've got to ask, well, this is the question that I asked myself and this was my preference, as I mentioned before, is like, if you'd done that and it did go well and you're earning a lot of money from it, would you be happy doing it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So personally I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I will only sell stuff or advertise stuff on my page which I use and I like I won't sell or advertise shite on my page. I get so many emails.
Yeah.
On my, like I've got a business email now, and but I get so many emails of brands and companies, TikTok shop companies and all that, emailing me, asking me if I want to promote their products, get free samples, earn commission from it and all that. And 90% of them I ignore.
That's good.
I didn't ignore Protein Works.
That's good. That's good because you can like, it's good that you can pick and choose that stuff now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's not that because like I know there's money to be earned there from that, and I'm not earning a lot of money from TikTok. I'm earning pretty a small
modest amount.
Yeah, but it's not that. I'd rather sacrifice the income now and be authentic and grow my account on authenticity, and in 5 years' time reap the benefits of that.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
You know,
So good
than just chase the money.
So good that. Like I've had your sister Jess on this podcast.
Yeah, it was a good podcast.
So she's a coach, and similar to yourself, she's into fitness.
Yeah.
She gravitated toward, and I spoke to her about this. She gravitated towards being a coach, where if you gravitated a bit more towards content creation and like you kind of coming up the same. What made you gravitate towards content in the first place? Was it you've just always had a creative brain? Is it like something that you've just been drawn to?
No, I'm not very creative.
Really?
It may seem I'm creative. I'm not very creative,
Really?
and that's where content creation is difficult for a lot of people, because a lot of people would probably think the same about themselves. You know what I mean? But so the main thing that gravitated me towards creating content is that I could create an income out of it, and then I can create a life around content and live life a little bit more on my own terms. So, you know, that's still a long way away. I think it's a marathon, not a sprint. How many content creators out there do you see that have gone viral and blow up overnight?
Yeah, I mean,
Hashtag was creating content for 10 years, wasn't he?
Oh, mate,
you know, there's loads out there.
Well, I've been doing content.
James Smith.
And they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Took them, 4-year overnight successes.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like an overnight success, but it is a lot of
exactly.
shit that
They've
goes
been
in before.
posting and growing that 1% every day.
I mean, I've been posting like specific content now for like 4 years, and I've obviously built a business off it, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's doing well now. But I still just create content really because I enjoy it rather than.
Yeah,
like
it is enjoyable, isn't it? It is enjoyable.
Yeah, it's like. I mean, if I didn't get paid for it, I'd still do it.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And there's that thing of like, I was speaking to Josh in the gym yesterday, and he said about his public speaking. Like he wasn't great.
That's funny.
He won't thank me for saying that. But I said to him, like, when I started doing this, I was the same. Like, I used to go and walk the dog at 6 o'clock in the morning and practice speaking into my phone. And I was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
I was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I'd set my tripod up in the morning and just put my phone on it and then just talk about my day.
Yeah.
And it sounds so bizarre to say that, but I just wanted to like get better at speaking and just get better at communicating with people.
It's the best way to do it. I was the same when I first started on TikTok.
If I went back and looked at all, I don't know if I even know if I've still got them videos. It might be in my iCloud somewhere. I don't know. But like,
be good if you did.
Yeah, but like, it's completely night and day. Like, and I mean completely night and day.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to improve after 4, 5, 6 years of doing it consistently now. Like, it's such a mad thing, but it's a skill set. Yeah, but it's an enjoyable skill set.
Like, you got to grow. It's like anything in life, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely anything you do at life.
Yeah.
What's that saying? The cost of entry is embarrassment.
Yeah.
So for a lot of things.
Yeah, the cost of entry is being shit at the start.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to look shit at something, you're never really going to get better at it.
No.
Like I remember vividly walking into Trident for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is fucking mad. I'm walking into a gym with a load of fucking old cases who were going to punch me head in, and I've got no chance. And I started at 35. So I started at 35. I'm 38 now. So it's like, there's lads in that gym that are like 19, 20, 21 that are absolute wizards. And I'm like, I'm old enough to be, pretty much old enough to be the dad. And I'm like, I'm starting this new thing. But actually, and I remember like the first few in the beginners class, it was like Seth and Pete that were like instructing it. And I'd sit in the car afterwards, shaking, and I'd be like, what am I doing? And I'd go home and Beck would be like, what on earth are you doing? Like she don't even know what jiu-jitsu is. And like, I was like, do you know what? Like, and I'd go to shop and buy a Lucozade Sport to try and like regulate my blood sugar, just to kind of like, because it was like, and I was like, no, I'm going to stick at it. I'm going to stick at it. And actually, as time went on, made friends, socialised, got better, actually. And when I look back, like, me now would absolutely rinse the version of me then.
Oh, yeah.
And it's completely night and day.
Yeah, that's what you got to compare yourself. Only compare yourself against yourself.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself against anyone.
I say this.
Comparison's the thief of joy.
And I say this to instructors all the time. Like, I don't care about ego or anything. I don't want to be the guy that's just like the big strong guy in the gym.
Yeah.
I want to actually be good.
Technically good.
Yeah, I want to be technically good.
That's what jiu-jitsu teaches you though. It's not just the technical and all. It's stuff like ego. Leave your ego at the door and all that. It humbles you and stuff. You know, I think it's great.
It's so easy to do. Like I've seen like business owners like who get a bit of success and it goes to the head and they go and buy fucking Aston Martin or whatever, then it just goes straight to the head. But when I think going in, like I go to that 1 o'clock class religiously, 3 times a week as a minimum, and I just go there, and it just regulates me every time.
Yeah.
Like I walk out of there, and it's like no matter what success I have, I'm going to go there. I'm going to be humbled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter what financial success I have.
You go there in a bad mood, you're coming out in a good mood.
Oh yeah, like, and I think it's one of them as well where like it's such a weird thing because if you have a good session, great. Like I've had a great session. If you have a shit session, great. I've had a shit session.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't get that in a normal. Like if you go and do weights, it's like, oh, this is shit. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Or you like, I'm not benching what I was. Like I'm not like squatting. And it's like you walk out frustrated. But when you get smoked in jiu-jitsu, you walk around, you're like, oh,
learn something there.
Yeah, learn something.
Yeah.
And like,
that ain't happening again next time. Even though I probably will, but
exactly,
you know, you're gonna go.
And then when you
home,
think you're getting somewhere, someone will come along and just smoke you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's crazy. Styles make matches.
Yeah.
It is. So one thing, do you know about you just saying about the gym there? You know, it's like if you do go to the gym and you have a shit session and that. There's a Seth, he always says to me, it's stuck in my head. He goes, if I go to the gym for 10 minutes in the morning, there's 10 minutes I wouldn't have done. 10 minutes I've done. You know, if I wouldn't have done if I didn't get up. You know, and it's like I'm stuck. So I've started trying to get up in the morning.
And even if you feel like crap, and you do something, if you go to the gym and you just do something, even if it's one set or a couple of press ups, whatever, the likelihood is that you're not going to leave after just doing a few press ups.
No one ever regrets a bad work.
You're going to have to get something in. So I always it's probably like a common thing that people say now, but like I always just think to myself, if I just go there, like even if I'm not in the mood, if I just go, and just get on the mat or get on the weights, whatever it is, if I just go, the likelihood is I'm not just going to do nothing. Like I'm going to do something.
You can't, can you?
Yeah,
You've got no choice.
Yeah. And there's been times, like I said to you before, like there's been times where I've been so frustrated and walked out like stewing all day because I've just been like a lot worse than what my standard is.
Yeah.
But actually now, like at 3 years in, I'm like, fucking hell, this is fucking, like, this is good shit. And I'm actually getting it. It's only probably the last sort of 3 or 4 months where I've actually felt like I've actually got better.
Yeah.
I've always been like, do you know what, like, I'm just what I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you say that because I think, like with anything, you have like your plateau.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get better.
It's like plateau. You go up and then you plateau and then you go down a bit and then you go back up.
Yeah,
and, But over time, your average goes like... Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you got to look at. Look at the bigger picture.
So one thing I'm really interested in is Mosey Media.
Oh, yeah.
This is like the new iteration of Mosedale's content.
My content stuff. So I just started, literally last week, I put the page together. I started doing stuff, but putting it on my personal page. But I was speaking to my girlfriend Jess, and she's actually really good with social media ideas. You know, like she helps me a lot. Every video I do, I'm sending to her, like making sure does it look good, because I think it's always good to get a second pair of eyes on it and stuff, because you can get tunnel vision sometimes. But I've just started doing some like videography for like I'm trying to niche it, so I won't go do videography for like hairdressers and stuff like that, which I don't know about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather do things which I'm familiar with, which is the gym, jiu-jitsu, anything like that, kettlebell sessions and, sports. And I think that's because I'm very much like Jess, my sister, in that sense, where I don't want to do something and take money from someone or, provide a service for someone unless I'm confident myself that I can do it. Cool. Everyone's been saying, you should charge for your content, you should charge for your... I'm like, I'm not confident enough myself to do that yet. When I'm happy with it and when I'm confident with it, and then...
You've got the big dog lens now, though, mate, so you're going for it. Like, that content, it's... Right. Although you're not charging for content, the weird thing is, by not charging for content, as time goes on, if you keep making that standard content, people will offer you money. Yeah. You won't need to sell it.
Yeah, which has happened.
So that's leverage, right?
Yeah. So it's I think a lot of it, like, I will get to a point where, okay, yeah, I'm happy with this now. I'm confident enough with it. I will charge. But for now, I'm all about the similar sort of sense in my personal brand. I'd rather be authentic, grow my brand, rather than take the financial rewards and then reap the rewards in the long term.
Yeah.
You know, because it'd be good to do it full time one day.
Yeah.
It'd be class, train jiu-jitsu and do videography and content full time.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Living the dream.
Oh, mate, yeah. Well, I had a similar situation when I was coaching, because I was like, I'd come into like a PT session or an online coaching session, and then I was delivering apprenticeships as well.
Yeah.
And in that process, I was like doing the marketing and learning stuff, and I was kind of similar to yourself. I just bought a camera,
Yeah.
and I was like, it's gone now, that camera, but like, I just bought a camera. I was like, yeah, this is sound. Didn't really have a clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I said to the gym that I was in, mind if I just film some content for you? And he was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
He was like, he said how much? I was like, nah, nothing. Like, just going to do
Building
it.
bridges.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Building bridges. And then you're building your profile.
And then that led to Vauxhall's football team asking me to do some content, and then that led to another thing and another thing, and then by the sort of end of COVID, I was like, because there was no like in-person videography at that point,
Yeah.
I was just like, right, I'm just going to edit.
Yeah.
And then, but the add-on was, I can manage your social as well. So I'll do the videos for you and then I'll post them for you.
Yeah.
And it was literally, my offer was, I'll create the video and I'll post.
Yeah.
And I was charging £200 a month per account.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I was like, this is sound. I'm making
Yeah.
like £800 a month.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular. I'm not going to be able to quit my job and make a living off it.
No, but to start,
it's like £800 a month.
Yeah,
that I'm not
exactly.
getting.
Yeah.
It's taken me probably 6 hours a week to do.
Yeah.
Sound. And then when it got to the end of it, I had like 7 accounts, £200 a month. And I just had to really think about like, how do I just make this into a thing that I can do?
Yeah.
And then the mistake I made actually was going back to just doing videography.
Right.
Because I gave up all the social stuff
Yeah.
for like 2 years. I was like, right, I'm just going to be a videographer. But the work wasn't flowing in at that point.
Right, okay, yeah.
People were like scared about money and stuff. So for the next like 2 years, it was like just kind of trying to figure out how I could offer it in a way and package it up in like a nice way. And then it got to the point where I was like, right, okay, I want to do the social stuff. So I was doing like video content, editing, and then social.
Yeah.
Now it's exactly the same, but we add in the strategy part of it as well.
Yeah. I think the social side of stuff's great. You know what I mean? Well, all of it's great, you know what I mean? But the social side's great in the fact that it's engagement.
Yeah.
Like social media, platforms, love engagement.
Yeah.
Do you know what
I mean,
like,
social media, there's easier ways to make a living than doing organic social. There is, like you're not, because it's not quantifiable. Like if you do paid ads, you put £1,000 in and you get £3,000 back. Like it's quantifiable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know when you do like a paid ad or something like that, then if you were to boost one of your reels, right? Is it true the fact that I've never paid for a promotion on TikTok because I've always thought if I pay for a promotion on TikTok, it goes viral, right? And then the next video I do falls flat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they
know you've got the money to spend
Yeah.
on promotions. So the rest of your content you put out, they
Yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So when I've run paid ads before, I don't look for it as in like I'm not trying to make sales from it. I'm just looking for it to like expand my awareness. So you can look at it in 2 ways. You can say, right, okay, I'm getting a certain amount of eyeballs, of the right eyeballs, qualified eyeballs on my stuff now.
Yeah.
I can keep creating the content and I can keep building it the way it is, and that'll take 6 months, a year, whatever. Just keep nurturing it and keep nurturing it. Or I can pay £500 a month, let's say, and I can just get in front of them people.
Yeah, okay.
Straight away,
Yeah.
and I can literally do the targeting. If your targeting's right, so you can say, do it take 6 months to nurture, or do it just pay to get in front of them? So you can look at it that way, or you can look at it from your point of view.
I've never thought about it like that, to be fair.
Or you can look at it in the sense that, right, so if you're looking, right, let's use Mosey Media as an example.
Yeah.
If you turn around and went, I want to build this business, and you're targeting jiu-jitsu gyms, you could spend 6 months creating that style of content, and you'd get some jiu-jitsu gyms interested in your stuff because you're promoting it.
Yeah.
Or you just pay £500 now to get in front of every jiu-jitsu gym in the country. So every jiu-jitsu does, and that's on Facebook.
Yeah, I've never thought about it that way, to be fair, yeah.
So you can look at it that way, or you can look at it in the sense that, right, I'm not trying to sell anything.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to build my brand, and I just want to do some awareness pieces. So I've got a really nice piece of content there. It's performing really well. I'm going to boost it to get it out to more people.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the risk on other stuff not performing because I've paid for this, and now Instagram goes, or Facebook, or TikTok goes, well, he's paying for this now.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to take it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the more you pay, obviously, the more you reinvest into it.
Yeah.
Like I've got some clients now. I mean, we don't actually touch the paid ads at the moment much. I've got like an external guy who does it. But we've got clients that are doing $3,000 a month in paid ads.
Yeah.
And they're getting $10,000 a month back.
Right. Okay.
Which is mad.
That's interesting.
So to them, it's a constant drip flow of leads.
Yeah.
And it's like happy days.
Yeah.
Like
it's a reinvestment.
So I'm getting 100 leads a week.
Yeah.
And I'm converting 20 of them, which equates to $6,000, and I'm paying $3,000. Like that's like.
Well, it works out, doesn't it?
It works out, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not going to spend $3,000.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend $3,000 a month on paid ads.
Yeah.
But at some point, I might go, okay, I've maxed out my account to what it can be. I want to grow it more.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay to do that because I can't be asked to spend another year doing all this nurturing.
Yeah. Organic growth's hard. Organic growth's so hard.
Yeah, and especially now, like we said, about more information coming out and more information, it's just like, you just add into a big shit tip. Like if you want to learn videography, you can go on YouTube, you can go on ChatGPT, you can go on Google, and you can find all the information. You don't need to get trained by someone, you can just go and do it.
Yeah, there's so much info.
So much info. Like if I want to go and do stocks and shares in Bitcoin, I can just go and learn it. I don't need someone to. So what are people actually going to pay for? Implementation. Yeah. It's like, I can't create the video myself, so I'll pay Reece to do it, or I'll pay Steve to do it.
Yeah.
They're not paying to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, can I create this myself on my phone? Yeah, you can. Am I going to go and learn the whole thing for 6 months and then do it myself, or do we just pay Reece now?
Hours and hours and hours of it.
Or is it worth paying Reece £500 to come in and just do it?
Yeah.
And it's done within a day. Right. So it's the implementation side of it, and that's where the value proposition comes in. Like,
that's true.
So what we're doing in the content right now is we're trying to get our turnaround time down with content to like 10 days, like 3 days.
Yeah.
So if I can turn content down in 3 days, it's more of an advantage to the clients than in 10 days.
Yeah. But it can be hard when you've got a lot of clients going.
Exactly. So like, we need to build a team out, we need to get people in who can edit and stuff, and maybe even freelance. You know what I mean? If I said to you, do you fancy a job doing a gym for us?
Subcontract.
And you go in there and you freelance for it, like that, like all that is like possible, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's really interesting. Like I love, like I could shoot the shit on this all day. Like I mean, content stuff's just fucking.
It is enjoyable.
It's mad, isn't it? It is mad. But I'm enjoying seeing your growth with it, mate. To be honest with you, like, and that's not blowing smoke up your ass. Like the videos that are coming out now are just fucking sick, aren't they? Like.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Even though you are Sony wanker. If anyone wants to get in contact with you, look at your videos, look at your content, where's the best place they can find you?
You can go on TikTok, which is Mosey. That's my TikTok page, and my Instagram. It's only Instagram and TikTok really, but that's my TikTok, and Instagram is Mosey, for my personal one, and then Mosey Media for the media page, which we just started, so early days.
Love it. Well, go and follow it, because obviously that account's going to grow massive, and yeah, we'll just keep supporting it and keep pushing it to get it better. Awesome. Right, we are going to go and have a coffee, and we're going to go and rip each other's head off in jiu-jitsu in a minute.
Yes. Whichever way that sounds,
yeah, that's not like a sexual innuendo.
Take that however you want.
That's not a sexual innuendo. But thanks, mate. I'll put all your contact links in the description. Come back in the new year when we got more content and stuff. We can shoot the shit more.
Man, definitely. Do it again.
But yeah, we'll try and get that up next week. So thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, no bother. Good.